Es ist mir wirklich egal, was mit ihr passiert. Ich verstehe nicht, wie alle auf diesen sozialen Medien herumschleichen. Aber was ihr nicht versteht, ist, dass das echte Konsequenzen für euch kleine Weicheier haben wird. Ihr schnellen Weicheier für $300, die ihr braucht. Es wird ein Betrug sein.
It started like any other afternoon in Los Angeles. The sun was bright, the air was still, and somewhere in the quiet hills, a storm was building. Teyana Taylor, the woman who had spent years building a flawless public image strong, stylish, and touchable, suddenly found herself caught in a moment she couldn't control. No cameras were supposed to be rolling that day, but as always in Hollywood, someone was watching. What began as a private conversation quickly turned into chaos. Voices rose, emotions cracked, and within minutes, the story that would dominate the internet for weeks was already unfolding. Teyana stood in her driveway, her body trembling. Her voice shook as she tried to calm two men, the two people who had shaped her love life in the most painful ways, her ex-husband, Iman Shumpert, and her new boyfriend, actor Pierre. First, the argument seemed ordinary, ex-lovers trying to settle unfinished business. But the energy shifted fast. Iman's tone was sharp, wounded, and unpredictable. Aaron's was calm, measured, and quietly defensive. The contrast made everything worse. You think this is funny? Iman snapped, stepping forward. You show up here with him after everything we've been through? Teyana moved between them, tears welling in her eyes. Stop, please. Not here. But her words didn't carry. Aaron, standing a few feet away, didn't raise his voice. I didn't come here for you, he said. She asked me to. Maybe that's something you should have done when she needed you. That line hit like a punch. Iman's hands clenched, his jaw locked. For a second, the world went quiet. Everyone nearby could feel the tension. The kind of silence that comes before something breaks. Please, both of you, stop, Teyana begged. This isn't about the past. But it was. It always had been. A bystander pulled out a phone. The red recording light blinked to life, and within hours, that single clip would go viral. The video showed Iman stepping closer, his face tight with rage. Aaron stood still, his calm unshaken. You think you can just walk into her life like that? Iman growled. Aaron's reply was soft but cutting. I didn't walk in. She opened the door. That sentence broke Iman. He moved fast, his temper flaring, but before anything could happen, Teyana screamed. Her knees buckled, and she collapsed. The crowd gasped. The phone camera shook. Aaron caught her before she hit the ground, shouting her name. Iman froze. The woman they both loved lay motionless between them. Call 911. Someone yelled. Moments later, sirens filled the air. Aaron knelt beside her, holding her hand, whispering, It's okay. Stay with me. His voice trembled now, no calm left. Iman backed away, panic washing over his face. He looked like a man realizing too late that his anger had gone too far. When the paramedics arrived, they moved quickly. Teyana was breathing, but barely responsive. Aaron refused to leave her side. Iman tried to step forward, but the police held him back. His voice cracked as he said, I didn't touch her. I swear, I didn't touch her. Within minutes, the flashing lights faded down the street, but the moment was already public. The video spread across every platform before the ambulance even reached the hospital. Teyana Taylor Collis and #Iman Shumpert trended within the hour. The internet exploded with speculation. Some said Iman's temper caused it. Others accused Aaron of using Teyana's vulnerability for attention. But no one knew what really happened. Not the media, not the fans, not even the people closest to her in the hospital. Teyana woke briefly. Her first word was Junie, her daughter's name. Aaron held her hand, reassuring her softly, You're okay. Just rest. But even in that moment, the pain on her face showed this wasn't just about exhaustion, it was about heartbreak. Back outside, police questioned Iman for hours. He wasn't arrested, but he was shattered. Witnesses described him pacing, mumbling to himself, trying to make sense of what had just happened. I didn't mean for this to happen, he kept saying. I just wanted to talk. Aaron eventually left the hospital to give a statement. When he saw Iman still standing by the curb, their eyes met, two men connected by guilt and love. You could have killed her with your words, Aaron said quietly. You think this is about pride? "She's breaking, man. She's been breaking." Iman didn't respond. His eyes glistened. He just looked down at his hands, as if realizing they no longer knew how to hold anything gently. That night, social media turned the incident into a spectacle. Every blog, gossip site, and podcast host had a theory. Some painted Iman as the villain, the jealous ex who couldn't let go. Others framed Aaron as the opportunist, the man who stepped into a fractured home. But deep down, most people felt for Teyana. She was the one who had carried the image of strength for years, hiding her pain behind music, motherhood, and a perfect smile. An insider told reporters the next morning that Teyana had been under tremendous stress. "She's been trying to hold it together," they said. "Between the breakup, the new relationship, and the pressure to stay strong, she hasn't had time to breathe." Yesterday was the breaking point. Hours later, news broke that Teyana had been discharged from the hospital. Fans flooded her social media with prayers, love, and messages of support. Hashtag Stay Strong Teyana and hashtag We Love You Teyana trended worldwide. For a moment, the chaos softened, replaced by empathy and hope. But just as the world began to calm, Iman broke his silence. He posted a black screen with one haunting line: "I never wanted it to get this far." No caption, no hashtags, just silence. The comment section exploded instantly. Fans tried to decode the meaning. Was it an apology? A confession? A cry for help? Some defended him, saying heartbreak makes people reckless. Others weren't as kind. They accused him of gaslighting, of destroying the peace Teyana had worked so hard to build. Regardless of the opinions, one thing was clear: Iman was spiraling. He wasn't angry anymore. He was lost. Aaron, meanwhile, stayed completely silent. No statements, no posts, no interviews. People speculated he was protecting Teyana's privacy or perhaps distancing himself from the drama. But days later, paparazzi spotted him leaving her house. He looked exhausted, his eyes heavy, his voice low. When reporters called out questions, he simply said, "She's resting." That's all that matters. Iman, on the other hand, was seen at a local gym, training hard, punching the bag like he was fighting the ghosts of his past. A friend later said, "It's not about jealousy. It's about love that never healed." Then, a longer clip from that night leaked online. In the footage, right before Teyana fainted, you could hear her voice, quiet but filled with pain. "You were my family," Iman said in the video. "I built my life around you." And she replied, trembling, "Then why did you break it?" Those words hit the internet like lightning. They summed up everything: love, betrayal, and heartbreak in one painful exchange. As the days passed, the frenzy didn't fade. More rumors surfaced: that Aaron had planned to propose, that Iman had been trying to reconcile, that Teyana had secretly told friends she was done with both men. No one knew what was true. The public only saw fragments, enough to feed the fire, never enough to bring closure. Then quietly, Teyana posted something herself. No long message, no statement, just a photo. She was holding her daughter's hand. The caption read, "Healing." It was the first time in days that the world fell silent. No one had words left. The post spoke louder than anything she could have said. Behind the fame, behind the headlines, this wasn't a celebrity scandal. It was a human story, of love stretched too far, of hearts that didn't know how to let go, of people who forgot that words can wound just as deeply as actions. For Teyana, that day became more than a public embarrassment. It became a turning point, the moment she realized she didn't have to perform strength anymore. She could simply exist, hurt, and heal. As for Iman and Aaron, their paths seemed to diverge completely. Iman disappeared from the public eye for a while, working on himself, quietly, away from the noise. Aaron focused on his career, keeping things low-key, avoiding interviews that mentioned her name. But both men carried the same memory: the image of Teyana collapsing between them, and the sound of their own hearts breaking in the background. In the end, no one came out a winner. Not the lovers, not the fans, not the media who fed on their pain. What remained was a story, one that reminded everyone that fame doesn't protect you from heartbreak. It only magnifies it. And when people look back on that day, they won't just remember the argument or the collapse. They'll remember a woman who gave too much of herself to love, two men who couldn't let go, and a lesson that fame, power, and pride can destroy even the purest intentions, because behind every headline is a heartbeat. And sometimes the loudest thing in a love story isn't the shouting, it's the silence that follows when everything falls apart.